In today's video, we are going to be breaking down Purdue and how they win their basketball games. They are a very big team with a lot of top prospects. So let's get down and let's check out this amazing team. So one thing that you cannot teach is, of course, height, but what you can teach is positioning, and that's what we see here. So here we see, of course, a really good post-up getting nice and wide. He could have been a bit wider, but this player was wide open for that three-point shot. When that shot went up, Zach Edey didn't just walk down court. No, he fought for that rebound. He knows that when the shot's being taken from this side, it's going to hit the rim and has a high probability of bouncing to the opposite side. That is why he gets to that left side of the rim. Number one is positioning. They understand positioning. Here, of course, when you're 7'4", you can get that rebound, but then he's able to go up softly off glass. They also know how to block up the lanes. Here we see Zach Edey once again getting super wide with his feet, but also having his hands wide out. If his hands were not wide, that would have been a nice clear pass to that cutting player. If you're a defender, keep your hands up, get your hands in the passing lanes, make passes extremely hard. Here after this screen, he hedges just slightly, but because of his size, he's still able to make that shot really hard for that player with the guard trailing behind him. However, that player did make that shot. But they can still hit those shots when it comes to Ivey out on the three-point line. However, one thing that they do need to improve is the weak side or the opposite side boxing out and rebounding. Here we see them, or at least give up, a defensive rebound to Yale because of the lack of boxing out. If you are watching the play happen, you also have to know where your man is, because if you get stuck underneath the rim watching the ball as you are here, you don't know that your man is coming up behind you to get that rebound, and that's why that tip-in happened. Now, if instead this player went to box out, that would not have happened, and if it did, it could have been an over-the-back call on him. However, no box out means an easy tip, or at least in some cases a hard tip, but usually a pretty easy tip. This is actually a really good play. Here we see a staggered screen away, one being a dribble handoff for that corner player, and then coming off of that screen, we see a back screen followed by a staggered screen for one of the best players on Purdue to jack up a three. Running your best player who can shoot threes through multiple screens will allow him to get open. In fact, we've seen very similar plays happen with the Golden State Warriors to get Curry open as well. However, one thing that Purdue does need to really look at is their backdoor cut defense. Now, of course, the way this offense is structured is to open up that backdoor cut option. However, if you are playing in deny, you need to have your feet wide. You need to be sitting down low, having this arm out, so that if this man does cut backdoor, keeping your eyes obviously on ball and your own man, when he does cut backdoor, you would be able to keep up with him and not allow that backdoor cut option to be there. However, we don't see that happen very often when it comes to Purdue's defense, and many other teams' defenses always watch for that backdoor cut. Now, this is actually another really nice play, and this is definitely something that worked exactly as it was drawn up. So if you've got a low post and high post offense, you can have your high post man set a back screen on your point guard when he passes over to the wing. This will allow him to get absolutely wide open for that layup. If Purdue continues to run offenses like that, they're going to win a lot of games. If a team is going to win against Purdue, they're going to need a big man who can challenge Zach Edey, but also not have to double team him, because he is a very good passer in the low post who can find backdoor cut players when he gets double teamed. Now, something else about Zach Edey that we see here is the fact that he keeps his eye on that ball, then leaves when that ball is roughly at the peak, finds his man, which we see here, and then as soon as he finds his man to box out, he then looks back at the ball. We have to remember that it only takes 0.1 or 0.2 of a second to register where that ball is going, which means that you can find your man to box out and then look at the rim to see where that ball is going to go. Purdue also has a very nice 1-2 punch when it comes to their backup center, who used to be one of their best centers on the team and still is, but Zach Edey's kind of taken that spotlight, but he's able to hit a lot of different shots, and if they go up against a very good team, let's say for example Gonzaga, who has two big men, then they can still battle that by maybe starting both him as well as Zach Edey. And we can see that they do run isolation situations in the low post for their centers as well. Not many teams can really match up against Purdue's size. We can really see that there is not many teams in March Madness right now that can match up against Purdue's size, and because of that, I really do think that they do have a chance. Like, look at this amazing post. A chance of winning the whole entire thing. There's two players there trying to box out Zach Edey, and he still gets that ball, and he can still go up soft hands off backboard. Not many teams are going to match up against him, or really many players on Purdue. Purdue ended up winning that game against Yale, and they will probably continue to win. Like I mentioned, I do have them on my bracket to win the whole March Madness. And the reason behind that is there's a massive size differential when it comes to Purdue as well as Gonzaga against everybody else. And because of that, I really do think that if Purdue go back to an old school style offense where they can really bang down low and then open up the courts for their guards, you're really going to see a massive point differential against a lot of different teams. That's a really good 1-2 punch where, hey, we can start guarding that low post, and then Purdue starts opening up threes for a multi-screen option for Ivey. So because of this, I think Purdue is going to win the whole March Madness. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.